What's going on to all you lovely individuals there out there listening right now? Hi, I am the one and only Teej, and you are listening to Bearcast, coming to you live from the Jack and Joe Strategy Studio, part of the Electronic Media Division at the CCFM. Things are a little bit different here, Terry. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm getting a lot of weird feedback in these headphones for one, but hey, look at that. All of a sudden our recorder's working once again, which means that potentially this entire episode is going to be recorded without any extra efforts from yours truly. But given the fact that things have been a bit sketchy in the past couple of weeks, I got my field recorder going along anyways, and we'll just see what we'll see what happens by the end of the night, you know? It's one of those nerve-wracking bits where actually I have no idea. The fact that everything is coming in a little bit differently now, and the sound quality is just a little slightly off, it makes me think that something's amiss. And that may just be the fact that I'm one of those old individuals that's been here for 4 years, but that's besides the point. Let's get the show started. Alright. It has been a week, and it has been a strange one at best, and hopefully we're going to be able to remember it again with this recording system going on. But it has to do with the fact that, well, I guess we should probably talk about Terry's favorite subject of all times. And for those of you who haven't been paying attention, of course, my producer Terry is here with me in the studio, having to do with the fact that I still need to be supervised. Yes, despite 4 years of being on this station here, I still need to be supervised in case I say anything too risque. Which is almost inevitable, but that's besides the point right there. It's a loose leash, certainly, by this point, but a leash nonetheless. And I'm seeing you, Terry, right there. Yeah, Terry's favorite topic, of course, would be the weather, and I think that that's at least worth describing because, of course, it is now March, finally, but it is starting to act like February, unlike February, which was acting like something completely different. Yeah. And it's getting everyone a bit off, from what I understand. Like, there was that crazy rain the other day, which hopefully you caught that. If you're not local, damn, did you miss some awesome rain. And I again, this is why I wanted to talk about the weather, simply because it was a monsoon. Okay, maybe not a monsoon, but I heard it was 6 inches of rain the past couple of days right there, and that's pretty awesome. And the hail coming down and the dense storms, I don't know, I just love that. It lulls you to sleep, which, when you're an insomniac, you really, really have to appreciate. Oh boy, but things are getting confusing, things are getting strange, and time seems at a standstill. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, people were talking about spring break around here. And I'm not sure if you're worried about that at all, or if it just happens to be this vague concept that you remember from your past. But it has to do with the fact that it is coming up finally. It's not next week, but the week afterward. But 3 weeks ago, we were talking about, oh, it's almost here. We can just see it's just beyond the corner right there. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And now it's finally kind of like happening, but it still seems like eons away. And I don't know who to blame for that one right there. Is it a crappy semester? Is it just the fact that it's the middle of the semester and we haven't had much of a break? Or does it have something to do with the fascist administration taking over this country? Who knows? I'm not one to judge, but you know, it does speculate a couple of questions at the very least. Oh boy, I'm not doing anything for spring break. I don't know about you, but it's one of those times where I get to catch up on the work that I have yet to complete entirely right now, and oh yeah, get paid to do 40 hours of work instead. Not much of a break, but more than anything else, I just need some sleep. Oh boy, I think I mentioned last week that I have to get up at 6:30 now to make sure that I get to class on time, because evidently in a 3-hour studio time, if you show up 3 minutes late to a work period, mind you, there's no instruction particularly going on, no, it has to do with the fact that this is a work period, but if you show 3 minutes late, you get counted as late. And maybe you're one of those lucky individuals where participation isn't a huge thing and attendance isn't mandatory, but in the art world, of course, that is exactly the case, and so consequently I was a bit struck when I heard that I had 9 lates in one particular class. But again, that's ancient history, and it just has to do with the fact that I'm trying to look towards the future. But you know, there are unfortunately things blocking us from looking towards the future, and I do have to make this political point first, and that sort of bit. We can get on with the rest of the show. Yeah, Terry says I'm rambling, but it has to do with the fact that the dickhead in charge, the Donald D himself, Donald J. Trump, declared war on the media in the past week, and, well, maybe that doesn't concern you particularly, but it should. It should, and even if you don't know anyone in the media, well, you know me. Hey, what's going on with you right there? What's with this selfishness? Come on, we're on the same team here. If you don't care about that, though, you do need to care about the integrity of having a free and just press. And the fact of the matter is that if you get rid of that and you have a federally run press, well, that's actually how we get into Stalinism. And, those of you who aren't concerned about that, you may need to go see psychiatric help, immediately. You know, I'm not a doctor. We will hear from Dr. Teej later in the show, but you know how he is. He's never on topic. And frankly, I doubt that he'd be able to diagnose you particularly. He attempted last week. I don't know if you recall. He attempted diagnosing all of us, actually, last week, which was a little bit scary. And, well, we're still alive, right? So I guess it couldn't have been that bad. Oh, boy. But that's another topic all entirely. We got some new music tonight, which I'm really excited about, and it seems like everything's starting to work again around here, which, it's a lot less stressful on me, I'll say the least right there. And so, you know, you have certain expectations, but you gotta be able to roll with the punches, and so when the punches aren't as fierce, well, you're able to breathe a little bit, and those wounds are able to heal a little bit as well. Oh, boy. And, I don't know if this is a transition or not, but speaking of wounds that are healing, I'm gonna throw it over to some music right here. And I guess this song is not exactly what you think it's about. It is actually about a school shooting, which I think it's one of the best songs about a school shooting ever. It's a personal favorite of mine. Out of the, late 70s, Terry? Yeah, out of the late 70s, the Boomtown Rats with I Don't Like Mondays. I'll catch you in a little bit.